I remember taking Tupperware of like plain ground turkey, gross plain rice, and plain broccoli. And that's what I took to Christmas dinner one time. I said, I cannot eat any of this food right now because I'm on a diet. Because I thought that's what the right thing was to do. And I just remember being like, how is this what we have to do? Welcome back to Let's Get Real with Dani. This is where we talk about all the real shit in life that not a lot of people talk about because it's scary, it's uncomfortable sometimes, but that's kind of why I lean into it because I truly believe that in order for us to grow, we need to get uncomfortable. It's a little painful, it's a little scary. So sometimes you just got to look it in the face and be like, okay, what am I so scared of? And how can I grow past it? So we're going to talk a lot about the growth that I've gone through and essentially, what I want to dive into is what led me to this point today. Like, how did I get to this point where I'm a nutrition coach and running my own business? And, what I've gone through that inspired me to start to help others. So, really, where it all began is, I always had this kind of seed in my brain. In high school, I took some um, gym classes that were specific to health and wellness. And it was like outside of your regular like gym class. You weren't just like going and playing sports in the gym. It was like learning how to lift weights, learning, what food was, and like really starting to get a little bit more granular into that side of things. And I was like, ooh, this is really interesting. Like, I really enjoy that. But then, leaving high school, then you go into this whole world of exploring what you want to do with your life and what career you want to have. And, you know, in my mind, and maybe in the influencers around me, they were like, you have to go get a good paying job. And the best way you can do that is go get a science degree, and that will set you up and you're set. So that's kind of where you know, I leaned into the option that felt safe because at the time, like if you went to university for like kinesiology, in my mind, from what I was aware of, it was like you could be a gym teacher, a massage therapist, or a physiotherapist. And that was kind of like it. Like that was all that I knew of. And so I thought, from what I knew, and again, what people were saying, like, oh, those aren't like very high paying jobs. Like, you should probably, it was like, are those stable jobs? Are those things that you can rely on good pay with? It's like, or you can go into like the oil industry and, environment, and that would kind of, catapult you into a well paid job that will keep you safe, right? So I kind of leaned into the safe decision. I leaned into the thing that was the better option for my longevity in the financial side of things. So, you know, there's a difference between like, making a safe decision. And I think I needed to make that safe decision because if I didn't, like, I don't know where I'd be. Like, I wouldn't have the opportunity as I do now. But looking back, what would it have looked like if I took the not so safe route and just went for what I wanted, right? Which is to be in the health and wellness sector and do that right away, right? But all that aside, like I have my degree and it's still in my office right now. I have it sitting there and, it has a place in my life still, and I am appreciative of the time that I spent doing that, but um it essentially allowed me to see the things that I could do and the things that maybe were still lingering in the back of my mind, which it's funny because I remember, seeing my electives that I could take. I was like, oh, I can take nutrition and it can apply to my degree. So I took a nutrition course, I took a psychology course, and I was like, these are things that really interest me. So I can learn about them while doing this degree that's like, going to help me get to where I want to go. Right. So it's kind of funny that was already like in my mind. And the reason why, I was so interested in nutrition and wellness and just diving into that side of things was, you know, all my life I have seen how diet culture, and not that I was like a really aware of it, but what I saw was that women had to go on a diet so that they could lose weight, so that they could fit their clothes. And if they didn't lose weight or go on a diet, then they were fat. And that was like the language that I was around, and um that really formed how I believed how I should be, right? It was like I'm fat, so I need to do these things so that I'm not fat. But then it was just a vicious cycle of like unsustainable changes that I made in my life that didn't lead to me feeling good at all. Like at any point, even when I was dieting or losing weight, I never felt good. Like I remember, thinking like, is this really what I have to do for the rest of my life? I have to just like find another diet, find another cleanse that's gonna help me shed weight really fast, and then I'm just gonna gain it back, and then I'm just gonna have to keep going through that cycle. Like, is that really what this is all about? Like, it was actually I just remember having that feeling of like, that doesn't seem right. Like, I better ask a coach for help because I saw a friend of mine was using a coach that gave her a meal plan, and she was losing weight, and she was like keeping it off for while she was coaching with this person. So I thought, oh, that's how you lose weight and look really good. So I remember being like, I'm gonna hire that coach too. So I did. And what I didn't realize was, when you're given a meal plan that is the same food to eat every single day for a month, how much that really impacts your mindset around food and the mindset around your own body and how you treat your body. And because I remember taking Tupperware of like plain ground turkey, gross plain rice, and plain broccoli with maybe like butter spray on it to like flavor it. And that's what I took to Christmas dinner one time. Like I took that with me, didn't have Christmas dinner with my family. I had my Tupperware food. I said, I cannot eat any of this food right now because I'm on a diet. And I chose that. I chose that experience for myself because I thought that's what the right thing was to do. Like, but was I proud of myself for that? Was I like, yeah, like I'm so proud of myself for taking this food and like eating my gross, like I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't proud of it. I was miserable. I was watching everyone around me have a fun time, feeling free and eating their food and like telling me how good it is. Oh, just try some. No, I can't. And I just remember being like, how is this? How is this what we have to do? And it was there was moments of like you looked forward so much to your cheat day that you were like, okay, you know what? I can just hold off. Like, I can make it through Christmas dinner. I can make it through this, but once I get to this day that I can have my cheat meal, the one day a month that I can just go wild, it just continued to enforce in me that I don't know the right words to say, but it's like I had to let my food just I just had to just go with it. I didn't have any choice. I just had to listen. I just had to follow suit. I had to be a good follower, and if I didn't follow, I was failing. And it felt very I felt trapped, right? You feel trapped because you're like, "Well, I have to eat this or else I'm failing." And, I decided that was no longer for me. I was like it was 6 months I remember, and I was like, "I can't do this anymore." I'm miserable. I tapped out. I was at my absolute end. And so I took time off from having a coach. And then I was like, I think I was following someone on Instagram, and I was like, what they're talking about is kind of interesting. Like, and this was like way before Instagram was like a big thing where you see all of the time now there's coaches everywhere. There's, people's businesses on Instagram. It was kind of all before that as it was first starting. I was like, huh, that's interesting. Like these people are, you know, talking about macros and flexibility and, if it fits your macros and, you know, memories over macros, things like that. I was like, what? How is that possible? How is it that you can like focus on enjoying life, not focusing on how you need to just suck it up and eat the food that you don't enjoy and just that will help you lose weight. It was like you can eat foods you love and lose weight and make it sustainable. I was like, that seems made up. So I, you know, worked with them. I was like, I need to know if this is real. And so I just felt the shift from like seeing foods as good and bad and like having a cheat day. It was like there's no cheat day language. It was like that wasn't a thing. It was like, okay, well, how about you enjoy your Christmas dinner and then you just continue on and don't worry about it. Don't try to make up for it. Just like have that as a memory and keep moving forward with the things that you're working towards. Like, so be it, right? Like, don't feel guilty about it. I was like, it was like such a shift. I was like so used to feeling bad about enjoying the food that I shouldn't be eating because it wasn't my cheat day. And so it was like really unlearning a lot of those unhealthy habits in my mind and what felt right and what didn't feel right. So as soon as I started to see progress while having this mindset, I was like, oh, this is my TSN turning point, right? Like it was just like it can be flexible, like, it can work with my life, like, that's amazing. So, when I realized, like, I wanted to help people too, like, it was like, "Okay, I gotta find a way to do this. I gotta find a way to help people do this," because it changed my life around food, and it's like, people in my life that, family and stuff, I was like, "Oh, they should see this too, like, this should be a way of life now," and, it's actually kind of crazy because COVID was like that catalyst for me where the job that I was in that was from my science degree, um, I wasn't feeling fulfilled in it. I was feeling very miserable, wondering what the heck I'm doing. And then COVID hit, and I remember just being like, hmm, I'm stuck at home a lot. And I just like have nothing to do, finish my work early because there's not much you can do in a time where everything's shut down, right? So I was like just scrolling. I remember scrolling Instagram, and there was a girl that I actually used to work with at a bar in Saskatoon. And I remember scrolling, and she was like talking about her nutrition coaching that she was doing and helping clients with. And I was like, tell me more about this. Like, how did you start this? And she's like, well, I actually just took a certification on online, and it was 12 weeks. And um, it helped me start my business and help people, and coaching people in this way with macros and flexibility is like, tell me what it is. I'm going to go sign up for it like now. So it was like COVID being that catalyst of like, it gave me space because I had nothing but time to think about what I really wanted because I wasn't fulfilled in what I was doing. I was successful, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I was like, okay, well, what is that next step? And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I gotta get it. I gotta just go for it because this is the time. And where I had space, I also had urgency because like I don't know how long this whole shutdown thing was gonna last. I didn't know how much time we had. I didn't know, you know, I just saw how short life could really be, and that I couldn't wait any longer. I was like, this is now. I have to make this decision now because I this is the opportunity. The door's wide open. I need to go through that door, and I'm so glad that I did because where I'm at now, I'm like, if I didn't take that step, I wouldn't be here. I would be who knows where I'd be, and I don't like to even try and think about that because it's like because I want to just like be in where I'm at, right? So, even that change from what I was doing, which I was in the agriculture sector, like not in nutrition at all. And even, the decision to step out of something that you've done for almost a decade and, you've dedicated a lot of time, plus the schooling that I took, um, to almost look at that and say, I'm no longer going to be in that anymore and I'm going to go a different route. That was like, am I really going to do this? Like, am I going to just, was I wasting my education? Is this me wasting my education? Is this wasting the time that I had in that career? But honestly, it wasn't. It was like the stepping stone that I needed to get to where I could be so that I could feel confident in like starting my own nutrition coaching and starting to help people. So I did it part-time for a while. I did it on the side of my full-time job, and then once I really realized that this was something I could actually do and move forward with, I was like, okay, I can step away from that job, that stability, which was really hard. Like the amount of times I was thinking like, am I an idiot for just like walking away from a really good paying job that gives me all of the things I need? Like it almost like if you look at it on paper, it feels like the stupidest decision I've ever made, but if you look at it from like my sole desire to feel fulfilled in the things that I was doing day to day, like I was miserable. I was crying most of the time at my old job because I was like, I can't make anyone happy. I'm putting my whole life into it, and sure I'm getting money from it, but I just like was getting nothing else. It was just I was so tapped out that I just needed that change. And so that's kind of what drove it. It was like it was the feeling behind everything. And I know that kind of sounds fluffy, but it really was. It was like how do I want to feel day to day? And like, you know, I can find stability. I can. And it's as long as you have that like drive to figure out where that stability can come from. It's like that first step. I always say it, that first step can be everything, right? And it can feel scary and it can feel like a big jump. But like if I look at where I'm at now with, you know, why I'm doing the things I'm doing, it's because it was from the core of like I found the change that I needed when someone helped me through it, the things that I was struggling with. So I want to be that for someone else. And it's so powerful. Like, even the conversations that I have with clients that, when they're like, I feel at peace in my body for once. I don't hate my body. I love it. Like, that is amazing. Like, that is just I could never have felt that fulfillment in a job where I was making the money that I did. And like it's not about the money. Like I realized it's not about the money. It's about how you feel inside and, you know, whether that's, with your career, with your nutrition, with the way you move your body, like it all needs to come back to like what is truly going to light you up and help you feel your absolute best. And like knowing that I've been able to go through the ups and downs of my own personal experience and help people with that, it's like sometimes I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like it's not me. It's all them. They're doing all the things. It's like, no, like it's truly the reason why I coach is so that other people can break those cycles in their lives and break that generational diet mentality because the environment that we're in gives us exactly what we're more likely to do. So like how can we break that? Because there's so many people, so many women that I talk to that are moms, and they're like, I just don't want my kids to go through the same thing I did and the same thing my mom did and my grandma did. Like I just want it to be done. I just want to feel free around food. I just want to like get rid of that thought in my head that's always there, like, oh, are you eating the right thing? Is this bad? Is this good? It's like, and that constant battle, it's exhausting. You already have so many things that you're battling. Why is like food doesn't have to be one of them? And that's really why I do what I do, because women already don't feel confident in so many areas that the thing that we need daily and the thing that we should be, able to just give to our bodies is a struggle, and I don't want that for anyone. So, it's the way that I approach things is meeting people where they're at so that it doesn't feel like it's just another big thing that they have to deal with. It's like adding small pieces, saying, "Okay, where are you right now? Like what season of life are you in and how can we help you feel confident in just like one thing at a time and make it sustainable?" Because if we don't make it sustainable, if we try to make it like huge shifts all at once, then we're just doing the exact same thing that we've been trying to do all of our lives, which is trying to like change our entire lives all at once. And it usually ends up like, it's like juggling eight things. And if you're trying to juggle eight things, guess what's going to happen? Some things are going to fall. And what you want to do is like start juggling one thing. It's like, okay, I can handle throwing a ball up. Let's try two. Okay, it's a little more complex, but I got it. And then you add the third thing and you're like, okay, yeah, I got this, but because I know how to handle the two things already, I can handle that third. And it becomes less of a juggling act and more of like, oh, I can put these balls down or I can put these things down because they're already solid. Like I don't have to worry about juggling them anymore because they're just now a part of the puzzle. And I'll just see what else I can work on, right? So that's how I like to see things. It's like we're kind of taking the things that might feel like a struggle, working on the confidence piece and bringing that struggle, looking at it, seeing where we can apply a different mindset, a different approach, and make it less of a struggle and say, okay, does this feel like the right approach for you? Yes or no? Yes, let's try it. Okay, cool. And then we go from there. So it's, you know, my background of the things that I've gone through and how I got here. Sometimes I just wonder like what how did I get here? But then going through the whole story of it all, it's like one decision can change everything. And if the one decision for yourself is to say like I need help, which so women struggle with asking for, then let that be it, right? Like let that be the thing that you can let go of because there are people that can help. There is someone that can see you for where you're at right now and say, "You know what? This is the next step that you can take without it feeling like you're absolutely overwhelmed with all of these things, right? Because we just want to add to our lives. We don't want to take away and try and cut down or like, right? Like change happens gradually over time and that's a beautiful thing. So it just takes that one step, that one decision. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. I appreciate you guys as always listening, and I really appreciate when you guys send me messages. It literally fills my day when I get a message saying like, "Oh my gosh, listening to your podcast has just helped me see so many different things." I'm like, like it just fills my cup so much. So I appreciate that. So if you want to keep sending me messages, please do so on Instagram at wellnesswithdani.s. And feel free to rate the podcast as well. Leave a review. Let me know how you truly feel because then that way I can, keep bringing information that's helpful for you. And, again, like I just want to give you a full view and different perspectives on, how we can truly start to feel better in our own bodies. Cause like that's the number one thing we should always be focusing on. Like, even if you're a mom, even if you're a sibling, even if you're a, a child, like, whatever role you're playing in the world, you deserve to put yourself first and to focus on how you feel. Because if you don't do that first, it's going to be really hard to give that to others and to give yourself to others or feel truly fulfilled in the things that you're doing. So, if there's anything that I can say, it's tapping into allowing yourself to have space to explore what is that thing that you really desire and then feeling that sense of urgency to say, "Hey, I'm ready to do this now so that this is not something I have to deal with ever again." So, on that note, have a wonderful day, whatever day you're listening to this on. And again, thank you so much for listening. Bye.